Revelation chapter 14, verse 1. And I looked, and lo, a Lamb stood on the Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. We saw that, of course, Christ is the Lamb, and that his standing on Mount Sion related to what we read in Psalm 2, that he would stand upon his holy hill. And also, God defines Mount Zion in Psalm 74, verse 2. Remember thy congregation, which thou hast purchased of old, the rod of thine inheritance, which thou hast redeemed, this Mount Zion, wherein thou hast dwelt. So Zion is a name that can identify with God's elect. In Psalm 74:2 it does. And in Revelation 14 it does relate and identify with God's elect. In Psalm 125 it says in verse 1, they that trust in Jehovah shall be as Mount Zion, which cannot be removed, but abideth forever. So God's people are the only ones who will trust in Jehovah, because the Lord gives his people that trust when he places within us a new heart and a new spirit. We will be as Mount Zion, which abideth forever. It is a representation of the eternal kingdom of God. In Psalm 132, verse 13, we read, for Jehovah has chosen Zion, he has desired it for his habitation. Chosen is an election word. God chose or elected Jacob, but Esau he hated. And so Jehovah has chosen Zion, which pictures all of those predestinated to salvation before this world began. And he has desired it, Zion, for his habitation. He will dwell in them. That's what the Bible tells us. And God speaks of the house of God as being built for his habitation. And therefore the house of God, that spiritual house that the Bible speaks of as every individual believer is saved, he's like a living stone added to the spiritual house of God. And we read in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 21 and 22, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto a holy temple in the Lord, in whom ye also are builded together for a habitation of God through the Spirit. Zion is built. Zion is for God's habitation. So is the temple or the house of God. So they're all synonymous in that sense. Just one more verse concerning Zion in Psalm 147, verse 12. Praise Jehovah, O Jerusalem. Praise thy God, O Zion. And there we see the similarity or the interchangeableness of Jerusalem and Zion. Praise Jehovah, Jerusalem. Praise thy God, O Zion. They're the same statement. They're just reworded to add a little feature to them and for God to help us to understand Zion a little bit better.